Hi, welcome to BUS 330.30 Principles of Finance Online for Fall 2023. This is a very important video to watch, and make sure you watch it until the very end because we're going to give you important information all along the way on how to complete this course, what you need to do, how to be successful, and there's a lot of things in here I'm going to discuss that you're going to naturally want to know about. So watch it to the end because I discuss some of the important things at the end as well as the middle and the beginning of this video. Okay, so let's start out with announcements. This is Brightspace, which we've been using now for a year. On the Brightspace screen, you're going to be working with the content, the assignments, the groups. There will be groups in here, as well as some grading. Okay, so let's go over the announcements. The first thing is the Getting Started with Finance announcement. So this is what the first step is, to watch this video, which you're doing. Congratulations. The second step is to review announcements, which I'm going to go over with you today, all the announcements on Brightspace. The third step is to register for the Homework Manager. I'm going to go over that in a few minutes. How to register for the Zoom financial simulation, and I'll go over that in a few more minutes. And I also included additional video that you can watch separately on how to complete the first year of the Zoom simulation, and of course read over the syllabus. So this is what you should be doing before in the first week of class to kind of get ready for this course. Because it's an online course, you want to make sure that you're prepared before you begin working in the course. So the first thing we're going to talk about as far as announcements is the My Finance Lab. So here is the instructions on how to register for the My Finance Lab. Now, you may already have an account, or you may have to create a new account. The important thing to remember, there's two important things to remember. One is that you want to use the same name that's in Brightspace, that's in Solar. Don't make up a nickname for yourself, because I might have a lot of people with the same last name. So if you don't give me your proper first name, I won't be able to assign you a grade. So make sure that, if your name is Thomas, you don't put in Tommy. If your name is Victoria, you're not putting in Jennifer. You know what I'm saying? So people do crazy things like this. They have their nicknames and such, and it gets very confusing. So please put in your correct name for Zoom, as well as the Homework Manager. And, you think I wouldn't have to say this, but I do have about 10% of the class putting a name in that's not their real name. Now, if we go to this link will bring us to a sign-up screen for the Homework Manager. And once you log in, either you create an account or you use an existing account with Pearson and you log in, you're going to get a screen similar to this. So what you want to buy is the student access for My Lab Finance with an e-textbook. So it's this credential here. You're not going to have an access code unless you bought the $250 textbook. So by far, this is the cheaper option, and it comes with the Finance Lab, which is the Homework Manager, and the Exam Manager, as well as the e-textbook. And you can double check the credentials here, that it's fall 2023, that I'm the instructor, our class code, everything is registered here. So this is the landing page where this is where you're initially going to sign in or register if you're a new student and never used Pearson before. If you do have an account that's under a different name, you can't use your friend's account. You need an account that's going to have your actual first and last name in it. So you may have to create another account if you had an older account with a different name on it or whatnot. So just be aware of that. Okay. Getting back to the course. So the important thing is when you click on this, our class code is given. So here is our class ID. This is that links your account that you're paying for directly to my course. So at some point it'll ask you for a course ID. This is what you want to enter. And I'm sure you've done this a million times before. You really don't need a lot of instructions on how to sign into and create an account or connect to a course on the Pearson Homework Manager. So that's the first thing you want to do. And I want to show you what it looks like when you're in the Homework Manager. So here we have the Homework Manager, and this is annoying. Let me get rid of this stupid thing here. Okay. This is my view as an instructor review. Your view might be a little different, but what you're going to use in here is you have your Pearson eText. So the first thing here is the Pearson eText. And the important thing is when you do sign up for the Homework Manager, don't sign up for the temporary account. The temporary account is very buggy. Whatever work you do in a temporary account, you generally lose and will have to redo when you actually pay and get a permanent account. So you might see an option that says, sign up for a free temporary account. Don't do that. Too many students have had too many issues or problems with that. Make sure when you register for the Homework Manager, you register for the full account and you pay for it, because the temporary account is going to be problematic. Okay, so here's some of the links you'll be working with is the Pearson eText. So here you go and you would launch the textbook from here. And when you're in the textbook, it's going to take a second to launch. So it's going to give you the textbook here, and you're going to be able to go to any table, any chapter you want very quickly at any time. You'll be able to search if you're doing a homework or you're doing an exam. You can quickly search on a topic. You can get an audio version of this if you want to listen to it, if you don't want to read it. You can change the font size. So the ebook is very useful and more versatile than the physical book. Okay, you're also going to have assignments. So in here under assignments is where you're going to have your 10 homework assignments. Here are the due dates for each of the homework assignments. Pay very close attention to the due dates in the Homework Manager because they don't accept any late assignments. So they're all open now and you can work on them early. So if you typically have interruptions like family, a sports team, you're in a club or a fraternity, you have a job, things that may interfere with you completing your work, get it done early. So that way, if something does come up, you won't have to miss the assignment. Now, also in here, when the tests are due or ready to be worked on, the tests are only going to be open on the day that they're available. You'll see the exams under assignments as well, under take a test or a quiz. Now, I have a sample exam here, so if you want to know sort of like what it's like to take a test online, which I'm sure you know what that's like by now, this would just be a sample exam that you could, it's not required, there's no points for it, but if you just want to know what the exam format would look like, that's something you could use. So for each of the homeworks, when you're ready to take a homework, you click on the homework, it'll open up the questions. This homework only has 3 questions. You click on the question, and if you're like most students, you probably haven't watched the video lecture or read the textbook, and you go right to doing the homework, and then you get confused and you don't know what you're doing, which if that happens, you should definitely go back and read the textbook or watch the video lecture. But if that's not helping, what you can do is you have to remember that these sometimes you got to slide these to get the rest of the information. There might be a scroll bar here. You can scroll this down to get the full question. The first question will come up. Gee, I'm not sure how to answer this. You can click on Help Me Solve This, which will give you sort of a practice similar question with some instructions on how to solve this. You can view an example, which I think is a better way, which you go in here and you continue through, and it will give you an example of a solution and the mathematics of how to answer the question. So this is a very good utility to use to figure out how to complete the question. Then when you submit in your answer, if you get to check it and it might be wrong, so then you get a second attempt and that could be wrong again. And if you do it a third time, you get a final check, it's marked wrong, and it moves you on to the next question. After you complete question 1, it moves you to question 2, question 3, and then you can complete the assignment and get your grade for the homework assignment. Once you've completed the homework assignment, if you're not happy with your grade, you can start the assignment over. You can't start the assignment over in the middle of the assignment. You have to complete it to the end, get your score, and if you're not happy with it, you can go back in and then retry the assignment again for a better grade. Okay, all your results will be under results. So here you'll be able to see your completion of your homework, your other assignments. So in here, I will bring over your Excel assignments. I'll bring over the Zoom simulation assignment, and you'll see all your assignments in one grade book, which will be under this results section. So as you complete each assignment, the results will go here. My Finance Lab has your complete grade book and your complete grade. The Brightspace will only have some grades, which are only there when I'm correcting your Excel homework assignments on Brightspace, and then after I'm done, I bring them over to My Finance Lab, so all the assignments will be here, and you can review your assignments. So once you're done with an assignment and you get a grade, you can go back and review them, which could be helpful when you're taking an exam. Okay, we're not really using anything else in here. We're not using the study plan or the financial calculator. We're going to use Excel instead. Don't use the financial calculator. Not a good idea. Nobody uses it in the business world, in the work world. It's just sort of a useless tool. Okay, so that is the homework manager. Let's get back. So you understand the homework manager pretty well now. We're going to move on to the Zoom simulation. The Zoom simulation also has a class code. In this case, it's fall 2023. And this simulation is going to be a team-based simulation. We're going to work in groups, but it also has an individual portion to it. So it has a solo practice. Part 1 is a solo practice where you compete against computer players, and you're trying to, you need to finish all 6 rounds and have a score above 1,500 cumulative points. Once you have that, you will have the full 20 points for the part 1 of the solo practice, which you do by yourself. And you can redo them. So if you don't make the 1,500 points, you can do the solo practice again and do it as many times as you want until you get the full 1,500 points. But you have to complete all 6 rounds. You can't stop in the middle. Say you reach 1,500 points in round 4. That's not completing it. You have to complete it to the end, all 6 rounds of the practice assignment. And then you start working on your team competition. This is where you're going to be in teams. I'll show you on Brightspace later how to view your teammates and what your teams look like. And you're going to complete another 6 rounds on a schedule. So the whole class is going to compete together at these dates for 6 team-based rounds where you compete like a big Fortnite battle. You're going to compete with each team head-to-head. Your decisions and your market share is stolen away from another team, and you're competing in a live environment to see who is the best company in this financial simulation. So again, let me show you what the Zoom simulation looks like. So this is the college business simulation. This is in the opening page. This is where you want to click on register. And then you're going to click on student. And like you've done a million times before with other software or projects, you're going to complete the registration where you're going to sign in with your real first and last name, the same name you have on Solar or Brightspace, so I know who you are. You can use any email address you want. Create a username and password. Create something that you're going to remember. I'm not going to be able to help you recover your username and password if you can't remember it. So make sure you create a username and password, maybe the same username and password you have for Brightspace or whatever other program that you can easily remember. Click You're Not a Robot. It'll take you to a payment screen. You pay online with a credit card, and then it's going to bring you to an additional screen, which I'll show you in 1 second. Okay, once you pay for the simulation using a credit card, you're going to come to this screen, and the next thing you want to do is select your professor. So click on here, and then look for me. It's under Mike Nugent, and then the class selection for our class is Fall 2023. How do I know that? Under announcements, it says the class code selection is Fall 2023. So that's what we're using. Make sure there's a bunch of class codes in there. Make sure you pick the correct one when you sign up and you click submit. And now you can play the solo practice or the team competition. If you click play team competition, you need to know what your team number is. So if you go back into Brightspace and you go up to groups, you click in here, it will tell you your group. It's going to be a little different for me because I have that, but maybe you're team 1 or team 2, and you'll be able to see your group members in here, and you'll be able to contact them. So if you're team 1, say you're team 2, and you're in the simulation, you click on play team competition, and then you want to select team 2. They might be a little bit out of order because it goes, I guess it starts with the first character, so team 1, 10, 11, 12 are listed, then team 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's only 12 teams. Each team has 5 students. So you want to click on your team, and then let's go back in. So go back in the second time. We'll see your team. You want to put your name in. So you want to put in the name, your first and last name, maybe also your email address, and then just click submit. Once you put your name in, and then you'll be able to work in the team simulation. So let me come back to the title page and sign in. Okay, so that's how you would. Now the team competition, we're not working on that. If you see, let me go back to announcements. You're not going to start the teamwork until the first round of September 18th. So this is going to be after add drop. So what you should do in the beginning is part 1, which you have until September 15th to complete part 1. And part 1 is play solo practice. You click in here, and then you have your practice company, which you're going to do your sales, marketing, production, finance, and you're going to complete this. I'm not going to show you how to do that during this video. If you look under announcements on the Zoom simulation, on the first announcement, there is a link here to watch how to complete the first year of the simulation. So there's a link here that'll go over step by step how to do the first year of the practice round. So when you're in here, you complete your first round by filling out each of the pages, and then when you're done, it automatically flips you into round 2. You complete that, you go into round 3, 4, 5, 6, and hopefully by end of round 6, you have that 1,500 minimum points to satisfy the part 1, which is the solo practice, which you're playing against computer players. This is just to get you ready. So when you're ready to do the teamwork part 2, and they're both worth 20 points, the whole assignment is worth 40 points. When you're ready to do part 2, now you work together as a team, and you can submit round 1 data, but you have to wait until round 1 has been completed and processed before you can work on round 2. So here are the due dates for all the simulation rounds. Make sure you don't miss them. And you have to make sure as a team, overall as a team, you want to get better than 2,200 points to receive the full 20 points for part 2. If you score less than 2,200 points, you're only going to receive 10 points for part 2. Okay, so that's the Zoom simulation. Moving on, here's the class schedule. So a basic overview of what we're doing from starting August 28th all the way to December 12th. Here are the various weeks and dates that we'll be working on. We have a midterm on the 18th, and we have a final exam on December 12th. So that's the course schedule and the topics and chapters we'll be going over. We will be working with Excel in this class. So I have a tutorial, a link to a tutorial video you can watch to learn about how to use Excel, the basics, and also a link to where you can get your Excel program for free. Okay. What to do, I have an announcement about what to do if a teammate is not participating in your team. I have a protocol on what you can do. So you're going to have 5 teammates. There might be 1 or 2 teammates that won't participate, will just ignore you. So if 3 of you have completed this project and you have teammates that haven't worked on it, you can contact me towards the end of the class with evidence of this. It could be a chat message. It could be emails you sent to team members that didn't respond. And I can take their points away so they don't receive points based on your hard work. Late assignments, it's very important to understand that I do not accept any late assignments. So make sure you keep a good organized schedule of what's due and when. If you have problems with Pearson, you can't sign in. A lot of times students may use the long login, they can't log in or something. They didn't listen to me, they got a temporary account and they can't convert it to a permanent account. Any problems you have with Pearson, please contact their support first before you contact me. I can't help with their site. Later on in the course, I will open up a review of the midterm and the final and give you more instructions about what they cover and what type of test it is. That's all under announcements. So let's go to, I'm going to switch to student view and I'm going to go to the course. So this is what the course looks like when you log in. Okay, so it's Principles 330 online. You're very lucky to get into the online class that has limited seating. So we just reviewed the getting started with finance. So keep an eye on this menu path up here. So we have the course home. This is where we are now. We have the groups. So the groups this is where you're going to go in and you're going to be able to see what team you're on. You'll get you'll just see your one team. Because I'm the instructor, list all of them. There'll be an ability here to email your teammates, to organize your team, figure out when you're going to meet. You can meet virtually online, you can meet in person, whatever works best for you. You can see your team members by clicking on here. You'll get the names of your team members and you'll be able to email them here. So that's where your groups are for the Zoom simulation. Now, let's move on to assignments. Besides having assignments in My Finance Lab, you do have 5 Excel assignments in Brightspace. So how to complete these assignments? You click on each of these assignments and it will download these links to the Excel work. And then you want to open up each of these 3 files. So here's one of the files. This is Excel homework part 1, part 2 rather. I'm opening up another one. So you might have multiple worksheets here. And each worksheet comes with its own video. So you want to always, when you're working with Excel, you have to click this Enable Editing. So if you go to the YouTube playlist, you're going to see Chapter 1 Excel, Chapter 2 Excel, Chapter 3 Excel. So what we're getting here is you are getting instructions on how to complete each of these files. So if you see these hashtags, it just means you have to open up the column. The column was too small. These are basic Excel things you're going to learn if you watch that tutorial video. Now these Excel assignments, the video is going to show you exactly how to complete these assignments. There's multiple worksheets in each workbook. So you kind of complete them and then you save them. And then you go on to the next file and you'll have a similar multiple different tabs to complete, and the Excel videos or the course videos will explain to you step by step how to complete each of these homework assignments. So once they're done, once they're completely filled out, you save them. You click on Excel 1. So this is the first assignment. Under assignments, you have Excel 1. So first thing, you download all the files associated for the homework, complete them after watching the videos, click on Excel 1, and this is going to open up, it's going to give you the links to the assignments again, and you want to click on Add a File. So you want to click on here to add a file. Don't put any comments in, you just want to click on Add a File. Then it's going to say My Computer, and then it's going to say Upload. But what you want to do is you can drag your files into this box up here, or you can click Add. Oh, no, I guess you click Upload. I'm sorry, click Upload first. And then it'll give you, you'll be able to see the files that you can select. So I'm going to select the 3 files, hit Open. So after I click Upload, it's going to pull the 3 files in. So either can click Upload to find the 3 files, or I could just drop them into this bucket. Then I can click Add, and it'll add the submitted assignments. Then I click Submit, and the assignments are submitted to Brightspace, waiting for me to grade them for you. Once they're graded, you will see your grade under Grades with feedback if there might be reasons why I didn't get full score or some advice. And then later on, during the semester, I'll move the grade over to My Finance Lab. So at the end of the semester, all your grades will be on My Finance Lab. The only grade that will be here on Brightspace are the Excel assignments. And that will be here under Grades. And so that's sort of like a temporary holding period for me to grade them. Then I'll move everything to My Finance Lab. And your final grade will be in My Finance Lab. Now, let's go to the course homepage again. Of course, you have the announcements, but below the announcements, you have these table of contents boxes and the calendar. So here on the calendar, you'll have all the upcoming Excel assignments. You'll have your due dates for the 5 Excel assignments. Don't miss those. They're worth a lot of points. And remember, the rest of your assignments are going to be on assignments on My Finance Lab. And these are 1 assignment for each chapter. So you have 10 chapter assignments on My Finance Lab, plus the 2 exams, the midterm and final on My Finance Lab. And you have the Excel homeworks on Brightspace. Okay. Now, so under Documents, if you click here, this is where you're going to find the PowerPoints and chapter Excel examples. So that is where, go back to the course. So that's where basically the PowerPoints that go along with the video lectures. You're going to have the syllabus. This is another link to click to the Excel assignments. Here's a quick link that will open up the Zoom simulation website. Here is a link that will open up My Finance Lab, and here's a link to go to the class YouTube videos. So very useful, these table of contents, to keep the class organized. So you can, refer to the syllabus, you can read over the PowerPoint documents, complete your Excel assignments, a link to the Zoom simulation, a link to the My Finance Lab for these two homeworks. So these are the three homework areas: Excel assignments, Zoom simulation, My Finance Lab, and of course you have the YouTube class videos for the course. So the only thing I have left, so this is a good way to stay organized with the class. The last thing I have left to do is the syllabus. So if you go over the syllabus and you click on, I don't know why it says YouTube, click on syllabus here. I'm going to, I need to remove this as a, okay, let me try that again. Click on syllabus. Yes, now the syllabus shows, so it's the Ecology Business syllabus. These are required statements that every syllabus has, but here's you click on this to get the full syllabus. So in here you'll have basically tells you this is an asynchronous online class, meaning that you're going to be watching pre-recorded videos. There's not going to be a live class element. I do have office hours on Monday between 1 and 2 in my office. So this is an asynchronous course, which means this is online. I'll provide videos. Everything else is going to be managed through the different websites I just talked about. So due dates are not flexible. So due dates, even though this is asynchronous, the due dates have very fixed dates of when things are going to be completed. But as far as everything else, you can watch the video lectures, read the textbook whenever you have the time. And the syllabus, which I encourage you to read over in full, has a course description, the prerequisites, the course overview, what this class is, the description of this class, the required textbook, which is something you're going to buy through the homework manager that I showed before, the Zoom simulation, specific learning outcomes for the program, specific learning outcomes for the course, the course requirements, basically reading and the homework. You're required to read the textbook and complete the homework, watch the video lectures, do the Brightspace Excel assignments, the grading. So the Zoom project is 40 points altogether, 100 points for the Excel worksheets on Brightspace, these are the Excel assignments, 60 points for the homework assignments for My Finance Lab, 100 points for test 1, 100 points for test 2. So it's a total of 400 points. If you divide by 4, you can break down your letter grade for the course. Here's my late submission policy. So I had a student lawyer last year complain about, oh, well, you didn't specifically say this or specifically say that. So I am specifically laying out my late submission policy, where generally no late assignments will be assignments, projects, or exams will be accepted to ensure fair grading for everybody. Now if you do participate in a in-school related sports event, that may excuse you from an exam if it's at the same time, but since homeworks are open day 1, you need to complete that homework before your event. So you need to make arrangements to complete these assignments before they're due if you have an event or an activity on the same day. The only exception is an exam, because that you can only complete on that day. So if you have a student or school-related event that day, that's understandable. Please note that personal mishaps, work, family, car, computer, internet will not be considered valid reasons for late submissions or extensions. So plan ahead, get your work done early. So if you have any of these problems, you can avoid it and not miss a homework. Okay, so just trying to give you a little bit more details of how pretty serious I am on late assignments. One reason for that is I have 300 students this semester, so I don't really have time to go in and review everybody's late request and update the assignment dates, and it just becomes a full-time job after a while. So I just don't have time for that anymore. Okay, and the weekly schedule and the required statements. So that's the syllabus for the course. Going back to the course home. So again, The main takeaways here is read over the announcements, make sure you read over the syllabus, make sure you work on the Excel assignments in Brightspace, you start working on the Zoom business simulation, the My Finance Lab where the textbook is to complete the homeworks, and you watch the weekly videos. The weekly videos are key to completing the Excel assignments, to doing well on the midterm and final, and make sure you keep track of all your due dates, whether they're in Brightspace or My Finance Lab or the Zoom simulation, to keep that all together. Okay, thank you for your time, and I hope you do very well for this class. If you've gotten to the end and you still have any other questions about the class, please feel free to email me. Thank you and take care.